Hey everyone, how's it going? As always, I hope you guys are doing wonderful. So, I want to share an article with you and then share a little bit of my thoughts on it. There's an article and it's titled, "I'm allergic to my boyfriend. It was God's sign for me to dump him." It was God's plan. A woman in an unhappy relationship prayed to erupt in an allergic reaction as a sign to leave her boyfriend, claiming the good Lord answered her call to heaven when she broke out in hives and landed in the hospital. Zakiya Ivy had doubts about her month-long relationship earlier this year and turned to God for help. "I prayed and said, Lord, if this man is not for me, if you do not want me to be with him, give me a non-lethal allergic reaction the next time I see him," the 24-year-old teacher tells Kennedy News. 2 days later, her Hail Mary was answered when she picked up her boyfriend to hit the gym. But just 20 minutes into pumping iron, she began to itch and her eyes swelled, realizing she was about to start having an allergic reaction, quote unquote. "I was scratching, I was rubbing my eyes. My friend told me my eyes were puffing up and I thought, no way," the Chicago, Illinois native recalled. "At that point, my prayers were being answered. I was shocked." Despite rushing to Walgreens to purchase allergy medication, she began sneezing and wheezing and was rushed to the hospital at Franciscan Health Center, where she was hooked to an IV and placed under observation. "The hospital weren't able to find a cause. They said I would have to go to an allergist," she explained. Upon being discharged later that day, Ivy knew exactly what she'd do. She would dump her beau. Ivy, who met the Bachelor through a mutual friend, said she was, quote, "forced to go out on dates," unquote, which were few and far between. "The relationship wasn't fulfilling. We didn't go on dates. We'd hang out at the house," she claimed. "I had to always ask to go on dates from the jump. It wasn't right." The anaphylactic reaction was her saving grace, an excuse to dump the dude, for good. "It took me like a week to break up with him," she remembered. "I thought he could possibly change or that maybe it was a fluke. But the pair didn't share any of the same values, nor were they on the same page. It felt like I was more interested in the relationship than he was," she admitted, adding that even her family believed her hospitalization was an answer from God. "They thought it was crazy," she said. "It's so specific, it's crazy." Now, the Christian vows to always pray to God before jumping into a relationship and advises fellow women to listen to their intuition. "I knew what the Holy Spirit was telling me from the beginning," she said. "You know what person is for you and not for you. Trust those red flags." Lady. Let me give an alternate viewpoint. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I believe He saves and He heals, okay? But it could also be something else. So let's talk about those something else's that this could be. Besides bad judgment, plus the fact she only knew him for a month, it sounds like she needs to know herself better than... she needs to date herself, get to know herself. So number one thing that came to mind was abracadabra. Why? Well, in Hebrew, abracadabra means what? I create what I speak. So if you guys know about water, you know that water holds memory, and that us as humans, we're made up of mostly water, about 80% water. So what you say over yourself is so important because it could change the molecular structure of stuff and determine your path. So it's important to speak positive and uplifting so that you could boost yourself up. So now it says that she broke out in a rash. Well, one of the things that could have been was simply a stress rash. Those usually appear like raised bumps, hives basically, and they come in different shapes. Sometimes they're small, sometimes they're big. They could appear as large welts, they could appear as clusters. There's, lots of different ways that they could show up and manifest, and they could also itch, cause burning or a tingling sensation. And that isn't something that is anaphylaxis, nor is it God answering your prayer. It's a stress rash caused by your body. Another thing, speaking of her body, is it could be psychosomatic. Yeah, it certainly could. Because if you have like a psychosomatic illness, this will cause you to actually manifest physical symptoms that are real symptoms. They really will make you sick, but you're not really sick. You've just convinced your body that it was sick, therefore your body listened to you and made itself sick. And people who have a tendency to have psychosomatic illnesses, people like my mother, pardon me, I didn't just throw that in there, but I did have that passive aggressive moment. But anyway, that's how I know a lot about psychosomatic disorders, because I've studied them for a while. But a lot of times people who have them have a history of anxiety and depression. Or it could be that they've experienced a recent traumatic event, which she did. Her dating that guy was, for her, traumatic. Also, having a history of childhood trauma. So I don't know if she had trauma in her life or not, but it is a possibility. And also, some people just have a genetic propensity to be more sensitive to pain, and they sometimes have even more psychosomatic or somatic experiences because of it. So I don't know. I think that she needs to do some more soul searching within herself. I think it's great that she prays. I think it's wonderful, but I think that it could possibly also be self-induced. But I don't know. Just another thought, that's all. But what do you guys think? I'm curious to hear. So leave your comments below. All right, everyone, take care. Peace.